we bought these chocolates. Finland got really good chocolate. So we bought this chocolate to all three schools. So we're in this small meeting, and then Coach Drew got the 3 boxes of chocolate like this, and then he just runs into the room and he just yells like, "Have y'all tried these chocolates?" And like really loud, he just yells that out loud and just big smile on his face, like these are the best chocolates ever. And he just keeps eating at them at the same time and shit. Like, yeah, I'll take them away. And he just ran into the room, asked, "Have y'all tried these chocolates?" And then everybody just starts laughing, and then he just goes away and starts eating the chocolates.
What's going on today? I'm the host, Zach Schumaker. Joining me today is one of the top prospects in the class of 2023. He's coming from Finland, is now the first member of Baylor's 2023 recruiting class, Miro Little. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
Pretty good. Well, you just announced it, man. You're going out to Baylor. What's going through your mind right now?
No, I'm excited, really excited to let the whole world know I'm going to Baylor, and feeling a part of the family already. Right after the visits, I felt really confident about Baylor, and just really excited to be a Baylor Bear.
I know we were just talking about before we started this, and you kind of said it's been a little bit that you've known Baylor was the place you wanted to go. So when exactly did that start settling in? Like, what was it, and just when did you start feeling that, okay, I want to be playing for Coach Drew. I want to go out there. I'm going to go out to Baylor. That's the school I want to play for.
Like, I want to say I visited 3 schools in January. The first one was Baylor, and then I had 2 other ones, Villanova and Indiana. And then like a few weeks after that, the first few weeks, I was just trying to go like every day. I woke up, I was pretty much like, which one is the school? Like I had no idea. But after that, it started like leaning more to Baylor, and every day it started feeling right, and it started feeling like, yeah, that's the one. And everything just started adding up, and like giving me the feeling and understanding where I want to be and what I want to do.
Now, we're going to get a lot into Baylor to wrap this up, but I do want fans to get to know your story and how you've become the player that we all know you as today. So if we head all the way back, obviously I said you grew up in Finland, that's where you're from now. What was it like growing up out there?
Finland is a lot different than the US. Like that's something that I think people know, but then at the same time, like it's like out here, people are like really like in Finland. The biggest sport is obviously ice hockey. Is like the main thing out here, and basketball has been on like a real big rise on like last few years after like 2017 when we had the Euro Championships down here in Helsinki actually. And Finland is a cold country. It's cold, like really cold, like weather-wise. The people are lovely. It's really friendly. Everybody's really friendly out here. And basketball-wise, it's getting better every year. Like every year, Finnish basketball is taking a like step forwards, and I'm really happy about that too.
That's something I want to touch up on because when you look at the game of basketball, globally it's spreading year on year, constantly growing in each country. Obviously, a lot of countries have soccer dominantly there. Obviously, other countries, like you said, hockey in there. How much have you seen it grow, though, over the past, just your own lifetime, but even more so since you've been aware of this, maybe the past 5 or 6, 7 years? How much has basketball just grown in Finland?
I want to put it like a best example. I want to put it out of like the first year I started school. I was the only kid out there playing basketball. I was the only kid like out there on the when we had a break. I was the only one out there trying to shoot hoops. I was the only one like who wanted to play basketball because I love basketball already then. But like now, and nobody wanted to come and play with me. Everybody's basketball. Let me go play soccer. Let me go do something else. Mm-hmm. But now, like nowadays, everybody wants to go out and play basketball in the summer. Everybody wants to go. Let's go play like 21 or something. Let's do something like that. And now it's like getting more popular in youth too. Like everybody like it's getting a lot bigger, and that's probably like the best way I can say it, that even the youth and the change of like everybody going out to play soccer, now it's more like everybody's going out to play basketball during summer times and during like when it's warm enough.
when you look at players that have made it to the big stage, or rather be in the NBA or just even playing the highest levels of Europe, I know this had someone like Onziga Samar, who's from Slovenia. Luka obviously had a huge impact there. For you guys, obviously, Lauri Markkanen, he's become a great player in the NBA now. Has he had a big impact? Like having kids be able to look up to a guy that's been playing at the NBA level, a starting player at an NBA level, has he been big for the culture change in that, or has it just naturally just kind of occurred?
He has been like really really big for the like change, and it's like probably with him, he gave like everybody the reason like you can like no matter where you come from, no matter like you coming from Finland, nobody, most of the people in the U.S. probably don't know where Finland even is. It's like if you try to point it out on a map, I bet like not many have a clue where it is, but it's like it's it's like really big for us to make like Lauri show the way that you can do everything you want. You can do like you can make it big out of Finland, even though in a basketball sport, basketball sports is like not so big in Finland yet, and it's like still growing. But it's like you can still do it out here. And he's like proving everybody like that is if you like just put your mind to it, you can actually do it.
Now you look at yourself, and obviously it's kind of a long way out. We'll get into a little bit more throughout the interview, but your obviously main goal is NBA. But even at the next level, like you're going to be able to go to college, you're committed now, so you're going to be playing at that next level. Is that any sort of maybe pressure that you put on yourself, or anything that kind of comes with saying that, okay, I know that someone has already done it, but I still am going to be one of the first guys to make it this far. I'm going to be one of the guys that's been able to play this national stage. Has that kind of brought any pressure along with it for yourself now?
Not really. I try to like take everything as a positive note. I try to like put like minimum like stress about it, minimum like think about it like in that way. I just try to like make it a positive. Like okay, like I'm going onto the big stage to play. Is okay. I'm showing these little kids that you everybody can do it. Like it's like I'm 6'3". I'm not the tallest player ever. I'm like a normal person basically.
Mhm.
And you don't have to be anything special to like if you just work hard and like do everything like every day as you want you and like pursue your dreams, is everything's possible. And it's like that's like the way I want to think about it. And just giving like the smaller kids, little kids, like just tell them that like, if you just work hard and really, really put your mind to it, is everything's possible.
So what does it mean for you now? Like I said, obviously NBA is the main goal. It's still a couple years out for yourself potentially, but just knowing that you've made it to the collegiate level, you're going to be a guy that's going to play at that stage on national television in the United States. What does that mean to you now say that, okay, I can be another person that kids do look up to?
Exciting, exciting. It's a big responsibility at the same time. It's like that, like you got to lead the way. You got to show example, like really big example. And now that there's not too many people out of Finland that like who's actually like what Lauri's the only one in the NBA right now is, and hopefully in a few years I'm there too. And there's us two of us if everything like if if like something else don't happen or one of my friends don't make it or one other person don't make it is, and then like the stack is really small that the kids look up to. There's not like 10, 20 players in the NBA out of Finland. There's two players now, like one player right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's a big responsibility. You gotta like the way you like pronounce yourself, how you carry yourself. You got everything has to be like top on because you know all these little kids are watching that, like watching you.
Have you been able to talk to Lowry before? Have you had any connection with him before, or have you just kind of been able to look up to him in a sense?
It's made it more like looking up to him. Is I
Mhm.
haven't talked with him a lot, like practiced a few times with him last summer, I would think. Yeah, last summer. But it's more like inspiration. It's more like he's just leading the way. He's just showing that you can do this too. That's more like more the way.
Now, obviously, we're going to get into it a little bit more, but you also just got to have an experience where you play for the World Qualifiers. And obviously, NBA guys can't play with that one because of the season right now. But long term wise, I know I have to imagine at least your main goal is playing in the Olympics someday, playing in the FIBA games or something like that. So, in that case, obviously, you would be playing alongside him as well. How excited would that make you? Like to be able to eventually potentially be able to at least play in the Olympics or FIBA qualifiers again or something like that with Lowry, with any other guys too. What would that be like?
There's nothing more exciting than that. It's like thing, the best feeling ever is representing your country on the big stage.
Mhm.
It's a big responsibility. It's a big honor. It's a big honor to like represent your country. Like the two games that I played, I was really like really blessed about it that I got to represent my country in a big way, in a big stage, and got 2 big wins out of it too.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we look at your family and your parents, it's going to make a little bit more sense of why the game came to you, because your mom, she grew up, she played collegiately. Your dad as well, that's where they met each other. Then they obviously came back, and your dad played professionally, and I was a referee. Your mom also played, or your mom coached them when she came back. Walk
Yeah.
a little bit, like what was it like just growing up that basketball really was like the main thing for you guys?
Yeah, it's always been. It's like as long as I remember, is I always played like been around basketball, and of course I tried. Like my mom made it really, really clear that is she didn't want to push it too much because she like didn't want. She wanted to make me my own decision, but I tried like a whole bunch of different like different sports during my when I was really small, and it just always was like, yeah, it's not the same as basketball. It's not like basketball. I just want to play basketball, and that's like the biggest thing. And in our family, because everybody knows, like I got a really big family now, and it's like everybody knows in a way that was like happening on the court and everything like what's going on and stuff like that. So it feels great, and everybody's really supportive with each other and trying to help each other. Like me trying to help my little sisters, or my big sisters trying to help me, or I'm trying to help my big sister, or my pops, or my pops is trying to help me, or everything. Like we work as a team every time, and that's something I don't want to take for granted because everybody's really into basketball.
Read a story and it said something about you already knew you kind of want to play in the NBA. You told your parents that when you were about 4 or 5 years old, saying that you want to play in the NBA. When was it, would you say, at least when you look back, when was the point you started saying, these other sports are fine, whatever, but I know basketball is what I'm pursuing. I know I want to take this game as far as I possibly can. When would you say you started really setting it in for you and kind of realize that that was the game you wanted to do for as long as you possibly could?
I remember saying it like really early, like really like probably like the first time I said it was I was like 5'4", right? Like what you said, like, but it's like I know that I meant it already then. Like I know that it wasn't like no long shot. I know that I really meant it, and like probably like I really understood it that what it needs to be like what like it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different thing to say it, but it's like different, like the whole different story to try to even have a chance to go at it. But probably like I want to say I really understood that it's not easy, but I really want to do it. Probably around like 10, when I say 10 years old.
At that point in time, the other part of that story I didn't mention too is that you said you'd want to play for either the Bulls or the Heat. Are those still your two favorite teams, or have those teams switched up now for yourself?
It's more switched up a little bit now, but it's like I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan. That's where it's all started. Actually, I gotta show you this. I got a MJ right here.
Mm-hmm.
I got him. I got him pretty much everywhere here. So it's he's the guy. So he's like, and he's like, I want to put that on my pops because like when I started, when I was really really small. He said I didn't really like watch cartoons. I didn't really like watching TV and stuff. I just watched like Michael Jordan play. I just love watching MJ play. So it's like put the MJ highlights on it or do something like that. It's like something like that, but it's more like the whole teams and stuff like that. It's more evenly spread out, learning every day. Like of course, learning about other teams and learning about, of course, out of cities is big. But back then, when I said that, I remember like LeBron was at Miami with Dwayne Wade and stuff, and yeah, and she like Bulls was because of MJ always been there. So, but now it's more spread out though.
So, are there any players, or maybe even one guy specifically, that you say you kind of modeled your game after, or you've taken pieces from, or just guys that you kind of like watching typically?
I love to watch like how Chris Paul moves and plays because he's like the best playmaker in the league right now, easily in my opinion, and probably other people's opinion too. But his IQ and the way he like runs everything and how he's a leader as a person. Uh, like that's something I really would like to watch. And then of course, Devin Booker. At the same time, I watched Chris Paul play. I said Devin Booker score on like 3 different levels, 3 different ways, and like many different ways. So I think that's an easy and a good like 2 players to watch. And then I love Kyrie. Like it's the way he goes to the basket, how shifty he is something different.
When was like the really first time you started playing regular seasons and really got involved in the game of basketball?
Oh, we start really, really early out here in Finland. We start really early, like our first like full seasons. I want to say I probably played like a full, like it's not a lot of games, but it's like a scheduled full season, probably at like 8 years old, 7 years old, and with like 15 games in a season, about like during like a 4 or 5 months span. Uh, but it's and plus the like it's mini playoffs that we had, like a weekend where we play like 2 games, like a semifinal and then a final game. But I want to say already back then.
I know at third grade, you ended up telling your parents you wanted to focus on sports, and that's at the elementary school level. And I also read that you had to basically do a situation where you had to switch buses to be able to get there. Take us to that story a little bit. Like, what exactly was going on there?
So we moved out of the city, like I want to say fifth, like it's like 20 kilometers. I don't know how much is in miles, but there was the sports middle school that I wanted to go to, and we lived like 15 to 20 kilometers away. So the only way that I got to the school was like taking 2 buses, and it was like altogether it was like an hour bus drive every morning, every afternoon. And because I played in the city too. I was playing basketball with them, but I put in that was in the city. So I wanted to be around sports like 24/7. So that was like the only reason, only like option for me. So I just said, like at the third grade, I was 10 years old, just turning 10, taking like an hour bus every day, just for the fact of being around sports and just making my life easier and trying to learn from every like other persons too, because that's something I always like thought about. Like, yeah, basketball's on sport, but I want to see how other people like practice too, and how other people like get better, so I could like possibly take something from them, and try to like put it all together and try to be like a little bit different. But and that gave me a good chance at it, like from being around all these other sports kids and ice hockey players and soccer players and whatever it is, track and field kids, and yeah, and I think that like taught me a lot. Just taking a bus ride and taking responsibility of waking up at like 6:30 a.m. every day to take the bus at 7. The bus left at 7:01 from my stop, and it was at the school like 7:55 or 7:56 or something like that. And then I had to hurry up and walk for a minute, but it taught a lot, and it taught me a lot, and it was really good. I think that was like one of my best decisions that I made, because it like made me responsible of myself and being early on and everything on time always.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of crazy story to tell, because if you talk about a lot of kids in the third grade that's around 10 years old, a lot of them are just trying to go home and watch TV or something. A lot of them still aren't even focused on anything long-term related. But for you to make that decision, like you said, not only to just kind of develop yourself, but to be able to go outlook and kind of take in things from different kids too at that age, walk us through that mentality of yourself. Like, what allowed you to kind of realize all that, and how much of a drive did you have to be able to get up each morning to do that, to continue doing that throughout that long time span? Just kind of walk us through the mindset that it took for you to be able to do that.
Oh, it was tough. It was, not gonna lie, it was like those cold winter mornings when it was like really dark. And in Finland, there's days in the winter when the sun does like come up. It's tough. Or during the winter, it's like a whole month of span where the sun is out for like 2 hours, 3 hours a day max, and it's like during from 12 to 3 p.m. And it was tough. Not gonna lie, it was really tough, and it was like it was hard. But I think that's like where I like really, okay, my alarm is up, I'm up. I just gotta get up and start moving to go to school. And there was always this thing like, if I don't go to school, I can't practice. That's what like my mom made really clear to me. So I needed to go to school to get to practice. So it was that was like my biggest motor on it too.
You mentioned something else that's key, and I kind of know what you're talking about that, but I want you to explain a little bit more. And that's when you said you were just wanting to be around kids that played various sports, rather it be hockey or soccer or basketball, whatever it was. And I know what you kind of mean in terms of you get to pick up the mentality of how to become great, learn just different things like that. But I want you to explain a little bit deeper. Like, how were you able to go watch someone play, rather it be hockey or soccer or whatever it was, and be able to have that help you on the court?
So we had this thing early in middle school where because we do a lot of things like in the school PE, we actually like play soccer and we play ice hockey during the winter times. We go around like run track and field and we do whole and we barely play basketball. That I do remember. We never played basketball, like probably like 2 times during the whole school year. And the times that we played basketball, I wasn't in school. So it was more of like, and then when we had these classes, when we had like ice hockey, the ice hockey guys, like they had to practice, they did like the PE class. So they walked everyone through like what we're doing and how we doing stuff and like taught other kids how to skate better. And it's like a lot of like kids teaching kids how to do stuff. And the teacher was just basically sitting back and making sure everything's working. So that's when, and I just try to like pick everybody's brain. Okay, why are we doing like this? Why are we doing just like this? Why are we doing just like this? And trying to just like figure the small things out of like the little details.
On the other side too, I do want to go into the different versions of basketball over there because I know playing in other countries is a little bit different than America. Now you're going to come over and do the college system and all that, but overseas, I know you guys have, it's kind of separate. You guys don't necessarily play for middle school teams that don't believe in stuff like that. It goes to, you play for the club system, then you obviously go out and you can play pro, and that's another story. But walk us through that aspect of it. So you kind of start settling into yourself. I know you start playing at a high level early on in life too. When did you start first originally playing for the club system?
So I started right away. The club systems already like operate from 5 years up, 5 years up. I started playing that when I was 4 years. I went into a club, where I was from 4 years to 14. And it's like a really, like, it's a tight club. It's like a club system where everything, that's where I was talking about, like the season starts already at like 6 years old or stuff. And it's like a bunch of different clubs just playing against other clubs. And it's like nothing to do with the school you at. It might be that you're at the same school with this other kid, but he played for a different club and you play for a different club. And it's like, I think I like it that way, kind of. But then the experience of like going to school and playing with the guys who play like every day at the school, that is what I'm having actually right now. Like at this HBA Academy, where I moved I moved from Tampere to Helsinki when I was 14, turning 15. And I moved to my father's house here down in Helsinki in the capital. And we are Helsinki Basketball Academy. So we are actually like everybody goes to the school here, and we practice every day, like twice a day together as a whole team, and we go to school together. And it's more like the same as in the States, but then we're still playing against these other club teams. And the club teams are like, usually they got like a few imports that like usually like 2 to 3 Americans who they bought, and they bring them in and try to help them win the seasons. But our team is just full of high school kids.
Now, there was one big moment I kind of talked about a little bit earlier, but we won the 16-year-old championship one year. Take us to that a little bit. Like when you were able to go out there and you win the Finnish championship as a 16-year-old, what was that like?
Oh, it was crazy. Because that was my boys. It was my boys. We've been together with that team since, like, the team was really tight. We had been together for like 7 straight years. I want to say like easily over 7 straight years. And it's like, it was the way to cap it off, because after that season I left, and everybody already knew early that I'm leaving after this season. So it's to Helsinki. So it was like the best way ever to top it off. It just felt right. It just felt like a story ended to the season. And we went 22-0 that season. We had a really, really, really good team. We had a crazy team. So it's like, still like really happy about it and really happy about my guys and how we performed that season. And we had like one of the best players ever in like Finnish top league was one of our coach, and then we had this other coach that was really good, and they really like figured out how to use us as a team, and we was really close. That made it a lot easier to play too.
Now, before we talk about your career that you've now had at Helsinki, I want to go into your first known play for a national type experience, and that was playing for your U16 event. Walk us through that experience when you first got to start representing your country at a much higher level. Then, what was that first experience like when you played for the U16 team?
It was great. It felt so good the first time it was in Montenegro, the competition. So it like the first time that Finnish national team, Finnish national song came up and national anthem, it was felt so good. I got a little bit like Coach River, and it was like it was awesome. And like that summer was crazy because I had just broken both of my wrists like during that summer, like earlier that summer, and I had played one practice game before the tournament started, and our first game was against the UK, Great Britain, and I remember I came out, I had like 20 points in that game. I shot like four threes, and it just felt great, and I was so happy to play again. So yeah, it just got to play again first time back in like a few months, and it was with the national team, and it was awesome. It was really really awesome.
And we've talked a lot about the goal about when you wanted to play. You want to go to America and play collegiately. You wanted to go play in the NBA eventually as well. When did you start realizing, though, that, okay, it's not just a dream I have anymore? Obviously, it still has been and is a dream for yourself. But at the same time, it's something that you want to do. Like, you truly believe you can do it. It's something that's a reality now for yourself. Like, you believe, okay, I truly am talented enough. I know every time I step on a court, I'm one of the better players out there. When did that start sinking in for yourself?
Uh, I don't actually. That's a good question. It's like I want to say like 2 years ago. Like it really really stepped in that I can actually like really really do this. Like I know I always wanted to do this, but now like the first time, like I know the first feeling I felt like yes, like when I was first time in the men's national team practice during like open gym during the summer, like men's national team guys was there and I did well and I was holding my own. It's just I was like yeah, like I think I can like handle this, and I think like I can. I'm still 15 and I'm out here with these guys, and it's like feels like yeah, I feel like this. I got a chance, and just like every day waking up is like that's the same thing on my mind. That every day I still have to work like crazy. It's like crazy work amount of head. It's not even funny, but it's like it's I'm excited about it though. I'm excited because I get to do what I love every day, and it's like play basketball. I'm just really thankful about it too. I even have the opportunity.
Another unique thing that we haven't got into about yourself yet is that you also have type 1 diabetes, I believe. So that's something that there are certain players that have done it and have gone through their careers with type 1 diabetes, but it's not an easy thing to do. So I want you to open up a little bit about that. Where did that first start? When did you first start having to deal with that? And how have you dealt with that now throughout your career?
So I got diabetes when I was 7 years old. I was on first grade or just preschool, but I remember I had just played the opposite like the weekend before, and I was like mad skinny. I had lost a crazy amount of weight because I had a slip. I had slept a lot, and nobody knew what was going on. So one of my teachers was like because I had this crazy what is it called? Like because I hadn't slept, and under my eyes I had this eye bags. Was sleeping for what is it called? I don't know, but it's just. And then one of his teachers was like, "Yeah, maybe you have diabetes." And then we went to the doctors, and I figured out that I got diabetes, and nobody in our whole like family ever has had diabetes. So I'm the first one out of everybody that got diabetes, and it's like it just came out of like a little shock.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just after that, it's been like right away I understood that if I wanna go play basketball in the US, I wanna go to the NBA. I gotta know how to deal with myself. I gotta know how to deal with diabetes because it's me and it's my taking care of my body. And if I don't take care of my body and take care of diabetes, it'll affect my body like right away. So that's something I really like. It has taught me a lot that how to take like self-care too. Like when I was like playing on these like small trips that we had, like a few other jobs and stuff like that to play these games. And my mom told me that like if you really want to go to these things, you got to take care of yourself. Like you got to know how to take care of your like self, like on your on diabetes. So I was like, okay, and that's it. After that, it's been good. It's been like diabetes. If you know how to take care of yourself, and if you take care of yourself, it's one of the easiest like easiest things like to take care of at the same time.
So have you had any issues throughout your career? Because as you talk about, I mean, things can obviously happen in whatever occurs during the course of a game or practice, whatever it might be. Have you had any issues since you've been diagnosed, since the original thing occurred back when you were 7?
There has been like there's one time in my whole sorry, two times in my whole like time of playing basketball that I remember like I had to like stop practicing because my blood sugars was so low.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I sat down and it just didn't come up, and I was like, I can't do nothing about it. I'm just trying to eat, trying to drink, trying to get like my blood sugar levels up, but it just didn't want to come up, and I was done for the practice. So that happened like two times, and during like the whole 10 years I've been sick.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go into that next move then, because as we talked about, you after that first year, when you win that championship, you decide to move out to Helsinki Basketball Academy, and that's where you've been now for the past 3 years. So, what originally switched for yourself? Like, why did you decide, okay, I want to move on now, I'm going to go out here? What brought you to that decision? Why did you decide to make that move then?
It was like more like basketball wise. It was like it was that was like the biggest thing. I knew that they practice 2 times a day on a
Mm-hmm.
high level. They got good physical condition. They like what's the name coaches, and they got like everything good out there. And I know like that's the place where I can get better, like more like max of my like getting better every day. And I know that they gonna push me. Like my first year I came here, Mustapha Amzil, he plays for Dayton right now. He was there. There was a lot of guys who's now who plays in the top league in Finland. There's a few guys that are out in Europe now that year on the team. Jesper Granlund, he's in Longwood right now. So there was a really, really good team that year, like the first year I came here. And like I got like there was days that I couldn't do nothing in practice. Like I got like really destroyed in practice, but that's like what probably taught me the most, like how to try to like find my ways. How can I score against the 6'8" guy who when I'm like barely 6 foot and trying to like and he's caught guarding me like full court, giving me pressure, and how do I get by him? How do I score? And how do I make a play out of it? So that was like the thing that taught me that year the most. And that was like what I knew that was gonna happen. But I wasn't afraid of like getting a little bit beat up at the same time. I was ready for it, and I knew that it's like for the better of me to play against these older and tougher guys at that point.
Now, Musto has been on here a year ago, so right after he got out here from obviously Finland and went out on Dayton, right when he had his first few games, and he kind of talked about the experience a little bit, but you got to take us to that though, because like you said, at that point, I believe that was his final year out there before he came out to America. What was it like just battling him each day when you get to learn from a guy that at that point was just a couple months out from going to play at the collegiate level? How big was learning from guys like him and all the other guys you listed too? How big was that for you in your development?
Oh, it was big. It was big. I think that's like that year I learned the most and like took the biggest jump from that year to the next year
Mm-hmm.
of just like I can't say what it was, but it was just the fact that I got pushed like every day, every single day in practice. I just got pushed every day. I was like somebody was on me, and I was like having trouble with everything. But like that was like the first 4 months of it was like really tough. But when we started going to the end of the season, I started like really like playing well, and I started a few games, and it started coming. I could see the progress. I could see like how it don't matter to me no more that Mustapha's pressing me in full court, or I don't really mind it. Like it was just like the way that they pushed me so much like every day that helped me a lot.
Let's go through that very first year, and you have a decent year. Obviously, like you said, it's more of a learning experience for yourself. You average just about 3 points a game, 2 rebounds, a little over an assist a game. What was that very first year out there like for you?
It was fun. I didn't play a lot that year, but it's just like I said, I was just trying to learn as much as I could from the older guys and just how to actually just like even though off the court be in Helsinki, because that was my first time living in a big city, living in the capital, and just trying to learn like different things from different guys, and trying to learn like how to talk to people, how to communicate, I was in high school back then. Yeah, I was in ninth grade in other school, but I was already learning, like seeing some teachers and saying hi to them and getting to know like some of the teachers that I really need to know in the high school. And during that year, like the biggest thing that I was trying to fix and trying to like learn from it, because I was having like real trouble shooting. I couldn't shoot like for nothing. Like I couldn't make nothing that year, and it was like tough because that was like my main focus. And like the first year, I just shoot, trying to fix my form, because my form was really like I wasn't really comfortable how I was shooting. It was really stiff in a way. So we fixed that with the coaches, and then I got into a way. Not even that year, like 1.5, like after the next season, in the middle of the next season, I got comfortable with my shot, and it just started feeling right. So that was like the biggest thing I learned that season, and the physicality, of course, too.
I want to go a little bit into your coach, because you obviously got to go for a coach that has coached all these different players we've already talked about. He also coached Lauri too, as we talked about him a little bit earlier on. What has it been like having him in your life, and how much has he helped you become the player that you are today?
He's helped a lot, no doubt. He's helped a lot, like the way that from shooting mechanics to way I trying to read the game, trying to give me like different thoughts, and trying to like give me like different options, and trying to like just pick my brain out, and why did I do this? Why did I do that? Like what? And try to do this, try to do that, and just trying to it's been great. And like just knowing that he's already like he got Lauri out of here, and he got other kids out of here too, and it's like seeing the progress, and knowing that I'll get better here if I like really practice hard and like do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm. Now, I also want to go into your second year out there then, and you do have a big jump. You go from averaging, like I said, a little bit under 3 points a game to also averaging 9.5 points. You also average almost 6 rebounds, 4 assists. When you started getting more and more comfortable that second year, what was that like?
Oh, it was great. It felt awesome too. And I knew, because so many guys left that first year, that I really need to be ready to play next year already. Mm-hmm. So I felt right, and it felt like, okay. I feel like the stuff that I was doing, the stuff I'm doing in practice is translating into the game. So I knew I was doing something right.
I know around this point in time, guys do obviously start having the opportunity to potentially go play at a pro round, start making money as well, and do different options like that. Was that something that ever became a serious consideration for yourself? Obviously, I can imagine, especially even closer to today and stuff, like pro routes have been offering you stuff, I can imagine. Did you ever consider any of that stuff, or were you just always set on saying, I'm staying in this situation, I'm going to wait and go to college then?
Always been wanting to go to college. This, like, I heard people, and I like listen about what they got to say and what they got to like offer and stuff. But it's always like, it's been a dream of mine. One of my dreams to play in college, playing on a big level, playing in March Madness. It's like, there's nothing like it. And then there's nothing like the college experience too at the same time.
Well, let's go into your big breakout season then, because you turned this past year and you had a lot of opportunities before this year when got started. Your first one is what really made your name stand out, become the highly recruited player. That's at the U18 Nordic Cup, and you have a breakout campaign. You average 18 points a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. shoot 50% from 3-point. That was a huge moment because that's when all these schools start getting involved and the college recruiting gets going for yourself. When you were getting ready for that, though, so that's right after you just finished your pretty solid 16-year-old season. What were you expecting? Just what were your goals heading into that cup championship? Like, what did you want to achieve in that tournament?
I knew there's like a lot of half American guys there. I knew that there were like highly ranked like players coming in. I knew that there was like good play, like really good guys who were playing in EuroLeague, like not EuroLeague, but in Europe already somewhere on these different academies. So I just wanted to prove these people that like I can play. I just wanted to prove like make it really really clear that as a team we can play, as a team we can win too, and as a team like as a player, as a person that like I just wanted people see like basically I just wanted the people see me. I just wanted the people see Finland in a way too that okay, yeah, okay. I had the opportunity to like really play well. I played well, and at the same time, I wanted to everybody else see my teammates too. Like I wanted to give them an option, like of these all these schools, like watching our games and watching my teammates play at the same time.
As you're going through that and you start getting more and more attention, you start getting some offers or interest from schools, and you just at the same time, you're having some of your best basketball you've ever played. What was going through your mind throughout that time span?
It was more just like it was just more like just keep doing you, like just keep practicing, just keep playing. I haven't really minded like all the stuff going off the court. I just try and focus on what's going on the court because everything that's happening off the court or affects like the future is not today, is not now. It's like it's not helping me right now that much. I got to do everything I do now will help me in there, but like that I just know that it's coming up, or I just know that it's like in the future. I gotta get ready for the future basically too, and I know that I gotta work every day to get better to be ready. Then
So before that time when you went out there, did your thing out there at the Nordic Cup, did you have any interest from any other schools leading into that? So have you talked to colleges before that, or was that the very first time everything started getting going for yourself?
I had talked a little bit. I don't remember. I don't remember with who,
Mhm.
but I remember talking to some schools before the Nordic Cups.
After that, then you get going with the recruiting stuff, which we're going to talk about right after this next piece. But you head then back into your season, and you have this past year, which has been your best overall year. You average 21 a game, 9 rebounds, 5.5 assists. What has this past season been like for yourself?
Uh, it's been a fun season. It was a fun season. Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but it's. I just want to say it was really really fun season. It was a whole different because just coming out of the standpoint, the first year I came here, I didn't have no responsibility. I just had to get better and had to learn from the older guys. Second year, I had a little bit more responsibility, but still not the guy. But this last year, I just knew that coming into the season that I really I didn't know that I would score 20 points per game. I did not know that I didn't know I would average 9 rebounds or 5 assists per game. I didn't know that. But I just knew that I need to do whatever I can to help us win as much as I can. That was like the biggest thing.
Did you expect to have this much of a breakout season this year, or did that even shock you a little bit how good you ended up doing?
Uh, I expected it, but it shocked me at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sometimes watching these games that I played and had really good games and looking like, oh, like after the games, I'll be like, I didn't know that I had that in my bag. I didn't know that I. It's just I knew that I practiced that, but I didn't know that it looked like that smooth or it felt that right. Or it's just it was like 50-50 about.
Since that time span, you had two of the big events you've been a part of. One was we kind of touched up a little bit, but the World Qualifiers, and that had to be a huge moment for yourself. What were those two games like when you got to go out there and you play against Slovenia? You got to go out and play on that national stage. What was that like?
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like the way the first game was here in Finland, playing my first men's national team against game in front of my friends and in front of my family. It was awesome, uh, and it just hit different. Just like walking on the court, I was so nervous. I'd never been that nervous before the game. Like usually like the nerves don't get to me, but it's just like my stomach was hurting all crazy because I was so nervous, and it was I never felt like it. And I didn't know what was happening because had never been in that situation. I had never been like that nervous. But when I got onto the court, everything felt like so familiar. Everything felt like this ain't nothing new. Just what I do every day. Just what I was just go out there and do my thing.
How did that opportunity come to you? And when you did find out, what was your initial reaction?
When I found out that I'll play, like that was I was in the recovery room actually, and they told me that our Peter Koponen he got sick, and I was like, okay, and like they were like, so you're most likely gonna play, or you're most likely gonna suit up. I was like, okay. I didn't know what to do, and then the next day, supposed to be like starting point guard Edon assuming he got sick too, and I was like, so I'm 100% sure I'll like now I have to play, and I'll play like some minutes. So I was like, I wrote my mom. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play, and she started going crazy, and she was like, oh no. And then later that day, like I got told, like the head coach told me like, okay, yeah, you won't be on the roster, and I was like, it's crazy. I was just excited.
Now, another opportunity you just had recently was the DJ's Next Generation tournament. You once again put on a show that event too. What was it like being a part of that?
Oh, it was awesome. It was like I have never been to a tournament like that, so it was a whole different like experience. I'm playing against guys I've never played against. There was like one dude that I played against from Sweden, but other than that, I haven't played against anybody who we played against. So it was so nice at the same time to play against guys who I haven't never played against, and it was fun. It was a really fun tournament.
Now, as I've mentioned a few different times, you obviously have been a player that more and more people are looking at as an elite player. And for whatever reason, rankings in America don't put players from other countries until they come to America or whatever. But if it was up to me, you'd be easily in that top 30, top 25, even possibly higher than that. We see some of the stuff because of these past events of how good you've been in them. And one moment was in the DJ's Next Generation tournament. You guys are down by a couple of points. You pull off a behind the back pass in the closing minutes of the game. Take us to that play a little bit. I know you've seen it. I have to imagine you've seen it back a few different times. What was going through your mind then? Just at the same time, that has to show that you are a very composed player as well, which people know you as. Walk us through that aspect of your game.
It just felt like that was the right read. It just felt like that was the right play. On the foot, he just jumped on my right hip. He just left the guy right there, right open. The ball was on my right hand side. And I was like, okay, I know he's open, and I know I gotta get the ball to him. So I was like, let me just do it right here, and we got an easy basket.
Now, this has all come to a conclusion now so far for yourself at this point, but you look back at all the moments we've talked about so far in your story. What would you say has been your favorite basketball memory you've created so far?
Well, like the first national team game, men's national team game, that felt it was awesome. But I'll like never forget like that season that we had, my last season back home, that 22-0 season. The way we capped it off, and all my friends and all my like brothers that was playing, it's just that's something I'll never forget.
Absolutely. Well, let's get in this recruiting process because obviously you've already been committed as you've gone through the past couple of tournaments, but I do want to kind of go through this recruiting process. So if we head back now, you start blowing up in that Nordic Cup time, then you start getting these schools. You obviously, as we know, you get Baylor, Villanova, Indiana. A school like USC, I know, was in the mix for you as well. About maybe 5, 6, 7 months ago, before you came to America, one of the visits, who were the schools that you were seriously considering?
I know that it was in Baylor. Baylor didn't reach out back then yet, but I was really Indiana was the first one who offered me. So I was really that was the first one to offer, and there was Providence, there was Indiana, USC was there a lot of in mix. Utah was in there, Dayton was in there. Wake Forest was in there. Then Baylor came, Villanova came before Baylor, and there was a lot of schools, and like the biggest thing. It's just like, okay, I'm Finland. I'm just a kid from Finland, and these big schools like reaching out. It just felt like surreal, but it felt, and it started. And when I was on the phone, like with Jay Wright or Scott Drew or like Mike Woodson, it's just I was like, yo, I'm on the phone with Mike Woodson. Like I'm on the phone with Jay Wright. Like what's going on? And it's just like some people don't. I don't think some people understand it, but it just felt like I'm on the phone with a Hall of Fame coach. I'm on the phone with like 3 Hall of Fame coaches out of the gate. So yeah, it's been awesome. Like the whole recruiting process been a great process, and it was like it was an awesome process, awesome process altogether.
What was it about Baylor, Villanova, and Indiana that obviously those schools came to America, and you kind of had in a sense, I know you didn't announce a quote unquote top 3 yet, but we kind of figured, I mean, you had to come to America for one time span. There's only so many schools you could visit at a time. What was it about those 3? Like, why did you decide, okay, I like these other schools are great, but these are the 3 I'm going to key in on. These are 3 schools that I could possibly see myself at. So that's where the schools I'm going to go take a visit to. Like, why were those the 3 schools?
So it's 3 whole. It was 3 like really really different schools. It was like really different 3 different schools. So I wanted to give. That was what I was trying to do from the gate. I wanted to give me like 3. When I was trying to pick the visits, I was like, I want to give me three whole different views of like in different play styles, basically. So I was like, okay, yeah, okay, I got Baylor. Then I was like, okay, I got Villanova next. And then I got Indiana. I knew for a long time that it's going to be them because I was like talking with the 3 their schools like daily. And when I visited them, what Baylor stand out so much, it just felt like Baylor really like felt home. It's just like the way that I got to talk to people, the way what kind of relationships I got to people, and the way like I was talking with the players, how they feel about the places, and how I was talking with my really good friend Jeremy Sochan. It was like, it just made sense.
That is a huge piece there. And I know obviously I've had Jeremy on here before too, and we've gotten to know each other a few different times actually on here. But walk us through that aspect about Baylor because you're not the first international player to commit there and play at Baylor. They've had quite a few guys, not just Jeremy, though. They've had another guy coming in as a freshman this year, and Joshua. They've had obviously him. They've had Joshua also on the team right now. They've had a lot of guys that have international presence. So how appealing was that aspect for you?
Oh, that was big. It was big. That like they proven that they know what they're doing there with international prospects. They like really proved it. That was like the first thing that they like. I was really like, okay, there's like there has to be a reason why all these international guys are going there. And it was like because they know what they're doing and they like play really really well like around it. And I feel like at Baylor it's like more getting they try to play more European than most schools do. Like they try to mold the ball a lot and they try to like play a lot of pick and roll and stuff and like run through the guards and stuff. But it felt right and the way that I talked with the players and even with like Langston Love and stuff, he just told me that it's a real family out there.
How much of a role did Jeremy have getting to talk to somebody that went from Europe, came over here now, has been able to have a great career at Baylor, now is a one and done prospect who is going to get drafted probably pretty high this year. What role did he have in this recruiting process for you?
In the start, he was really laid back. Because we used to we'd be playing video games with Jeremy for a while. Like we got to know each other when we was 13. Around 13, he came to Finland for a tournament. We got to know each other in there. We played against each other, and I was like this little 12-year-old kid, Miro, who was taking these guys from the UK, and I was like their tour guy. I was like making sure they know where to go, where they at, where they eat, and I was walking around with them through the city the whole time because it was my home tournament. So that's how I got to know JJ, and after that, we've been just playing video games together and just keeping in touch every once in a while. So that's when we started playing. When COVID hit the first time, that's when we really started playing. I just just hop on the game and I was like, and we just been playing after that. But at the start, he was really chill about it, but going to the end, he was like, I felt like he was one of the recruiters too. But Jeremy was I told him first. I was like, he was the first one I told. Like, yeah, I think I'm coming to Baylor. He got all hyped and stuff, but he was happy too.
So you got to walk us through this visit because that visit had to be special for yourself to be able to commit there. So from the time you touched down out there in Waco to the time you end up leaving, what all did you do on the visit? Just what was that like?
Well, first thing, we landed in Dallas. We drove a few hours to Waco, and first thing, I come to the hotel. Not even 5 minutes. Jeremy and Langston, they just pull up and come and get me. It was funny in the bed. But it was just so funny because they like I wasn't even 5 minutes at the hotel, and Jeremy just called me. Yeah, come downstairs. We here. And no, they showed me around. Like they showed me around Waco and showed me a little bit around campus and where they live and where they stay at, where the dorms at, and and then they played. They lost to Oklahoma State. Actually, it was an upset.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so bad. Excuse me, I'm hopping off the subject. I felt so bad because first Oklahoma State beat them at Baylor. Then we went to Villanova, and Villanova lost too. And I was like, this must be me. And then we went to Indiana, and Indiana upset Purdue with the game winner. That was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that was the craziest thing I've seen in a minute. Mm-hmm. But it's just during the Baylor visit, it's just. Everything went like really, really well. And the way that I got to talk, I had the chance to talk with all these different guys, different like people from the school, people from the staff and the players. And everybody's like the biggest thing that really stood out to me because everything like is really family into it. Like family, like family is like the biggest thing over there. Everybody's really close to each other. Everybody's really, really friendly and everybody's like really taking care of each other. And that's really important for me because I'm going to be really, really far from home. Mm-hmm. So it's home atmosphere, and the people around me made me feel like I'm at home already when I visited that place first time.
When you were at Baylor on that visit, did you start to get a feeling that this was where you wanted to play, or did that not come until later on?
It did. I would say after all the 3 visits. After Baylor, I was like, yeah, it's going to be Baylor. After Villanova, I was like, it's going to be Villanova. After Indiana, I was like, yeah, it's going to be Indiana. So it was really hard. But like then the week, I just try to like not think about it as like much as I could. And then like the next week, I just thought about it every day pretty much. And after that, I was like just every day I woke up, I was like, yeah, so what school am I going to? Mm-hmm. So it's just, and day at a time, it just started being more Baylor.
When that day set in for yourself and you said, okay, I'm going to Baylor, you said that Jeremy was the first person you told. So when did you tell coach and the coaching staff, and what was their reaction when you did tell them?
We was on a Zoom call, and they was just walking me through like how everything would look when I would go there. And I think they knew in a way because I like gave a little hints every day, like now and there, and like they was really active, and we were talking like every day, been talking every day with the whole staff. So I'm pretty sure that they already knew. And then they was excited. Everybody was happy. I was happy. Mom was happy. Dad was happy. Everybody was just really happy. And I felt like so relieved that I got to say it out loud to them to let them know. And I felt like it was just at the right time too.
When you told Coach Drew, what was his reaction?
A big smile. He smiles like he's an awesome person. He a big smile.
And now you also mentioned Jeremy. So how much earlier did he know that you're going to Baylor before this happened? Was it like a couple of days before? Was it that morning? Or when did you tell Jeremy?
I told Jeremy like a week and a half or probably even 2 weeks before that.
Now, I do want to go into Coach Drew a little bit more because he obviously has asserted himself now as one of the very best coaches in the game of basketball in college now. So you got to take us through him a little bit. Like you got to experience him off the court so far. So a lot of people just get to know what he's like on the court, how he coaches and stuff. But what is Coach Drew like off the court?
Oh, he's just an awesome person. always smiling, always happy, really happy person, really positive person. And that's what the whole staff, everybody was really positive and really, really happy and energetic. But off the court, he's just, I think just saying a happy person is the best way you can put it. Always on a smile on his face and always just really, just happy.
What's your favorite memory that you've created so far, Coach Drew?
So we brought these chocolates. Finland got really good chocolate. So we bought this chocolate to all three schools. And so we're in this I don't know who we was talking about. We was in a small meeting, and then Coach Drew got the 3 boxes of chocolate like this. And then he just runs into the room and he just yells like, "Have you tried these chocolates?" And then he's just like goes, "Have y'all tried these chocolates?" And like really loud, he just yells that out loud and just big smile on his face, like, "These are the best chocolates ever." And he just keeps eating at them at the same time and just like, "Yeah, I'll take them away." And he just ran into the room, asked, "Have y'all tried these chocolates?" And then everybody just starts laughing, and then he just goes away and starts eating the chocolates. So I think that was pretty funny.
Now, you are a little bit away from obviously getting to go play up for him and step foot on the Baylor court and everything, but how excited are you to go out there and get coached by Coach Drew?
I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. There's no more. I can't more say about it, but I'm just super, super excited.
Now, when you look at this group and you're coming in there, obviously a year or so, a little bit, year and a half, I should say, away. This 2023 class, you're the very first member of it. Knowing the way that Baylor rolls, they're going to probably add a few more different guys to come along with you. So, how excited are you for that? And are there any guys that Coach Drew's talked about that they're kind of targeting that they want to bring along with you in 2023?
I'm excited. A little bit, but I don't want to say nothing. But excited and I'm just really excited to play at Baylor and with all these other guys and different guys and just excited. I know that we're gonna have a really good team that year too. Mm-hmm. So excited.
If you could pick anyone, I know you obviously might not be able to know too many guys out there in the 2023 class, but are there any guys that either Coach Drew's talked to you about that you maybe got to go watch film with or even talk to, do visits or whatever it might have been? Is there someone out there that you'd like to go play with in 2023 that you might try recruiting?
Not really, but because I got this year early, I'm a year early, so I might hop on it. I have to hop on it and start trying to recruit myself too. Like if they tell me something that they really onto this guy and they really like this, and I don't know. I'm just doing I'm doing my own thing right at the moment and just trying to figure out next year. Next year's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna like come back with it about the next year, like in a few weeks, and let everybody know about that too. But it's exciting.
Now, that is something I know you've discussed before. I'm not sure where you're at with it right now, but knowing you obviously have enough talent to go play collegiately possibly next year, is reclassing on the table for you? Is that something that you have discussed? Is that something that could be on the table for you, or are you for sure locked in on staying in 2023?
I'm going to be staying in 23.
Was that ever something you were looking into, or was that something that just basically just said, okay, I think for myself it's best for you 2023?
I looked into it. We looked into it as a family, but at the end of it, I was like, yeah, I like the best. I'll stay in the 23 class, and like school wise, I had because Finnish school is a little bit different than schools in the U.S. It wouldn't be possible to reclass it.
Well, when you mentioned that you were going to try recruiting guys when that time does come, you got to give us your pitch. So if I'm one of those guys, the 5-star recruit or 4-star, whatever I am, what's your pitch to me? Why should I come to Baylor?
I got to think about that. Hold on. So I'd probably just be like something, just talk about a little bit something about like, oh, you got a big family, you got a family guy, blah, blah, blah. And then just like, yeah, there's a bigger family out here, even though we guys are like taking your open arms and you got bear hugs and all of that is trying to just lure them into the family.
Are there any tips that Jeremy taught you or Langston taught you that you're going to try applying into your recruiting game?
Yeah, but we can't talk. We got to leave that. They two fools.
Are there any things that you're looking to improve on? Are there certain aspects to your game that you really want to key in and improve on before you get out there to Waco?
Of course, like there's a lot of shooting. Shooting is always, you never can be too good of a shooter. That it never hurts. But of course, like I want to be a really, really good shooter when I get there, and still get better as a shooter. And then, like of course, finishing on like these three like different levels, and just like getting a bigger bag, so called, like on this like mid-range game and floater games, and trying to just like get, because in Finland, like the guys ain't that athletic, the guys ain't that big, so I can like many times I just can go to the heart to the basket and just try to like even to like try to jump on people, try to jump over people. But in the US, I won't be available to do that because guys bad athletic. Mm-hmm. So I gotta like figure that out and get a bigger like better floater and stuff.
When you look at everyone you could possibly play, and mostly just in the Big 12 because you don't necessarily know the schedule for everyone else, but when you look at the Big 12, what team, or is there one team that you're the most excited to go up against and play?
Probably Kansas. Probably Kansas because they just won and they just Kansas.
When you are a freshman and you go in that gym for the very first time, the very first game, you see your jersey in that locker, you put that on and step foot on that court, what do you think is going to go through your mind?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's a feeling that it's going to be special. That's something I know though, for sure. It's going to be a special feeling. It's going to be one of those feelings that I'll remember forever. But what it's going to feel like, I can't tell you right now, but I can tell you then.
When you do talk about yourself, and I know fans are going to be ecstatic to get you out there eventually, what can fans expect from you when you do get to Baylor? What will you be bringing to that program?
Exciting, like guard who like try to do as much as he can on the court and try to be like really mobile, do shooting, do goes to the basket, be a big player, be a good playmaker, and just be an exciting person and positive person, really positive person.
I know NIL has been a big thing that people talk about now in America. Was that something that you looked at all when you were going through the recruiting process? Did any of those coaches talk about NIL? And if so, for Baylor especially, what kind of was the NIL pitch for you?
NIL is just like, for me personally, it's just plus off the court. It's stuff that is not helping me on the court. So it's like, it's important. Of course, it's nice to get all that stuff and have that stuff going on, but it's something that is my main focus is getting to the NBA and staying in the NBA to get to be the best player I can. So, and that was the focus on Baylor too. That they gave me a really good pitch about it, and they really taught me a lot about it because I didn't know much. But it's a nice extra, and it's nice helping you off the court with all that stuff. But its main focus is every day on basketball.
I got to ask you though, if you could pick one company, what company would be your dream sponsorship? Rather it be next year at Baylor, a couple years in Baylor, or in the NBA? Like, who's your dream sponsorship?
Oh, that's tough. It got to be a big Nike athlete, Jordan athlete, either Nike or like Jordan athlete. It's just like it has to be.
Now, I know that all guys do want to be remembered for something. So when your time at Baylor comes to an end, you decide to move on. What do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court there at Baylor?
Off the court, I want to help the people in Waco as much as I can. Like, do a lot of stuff off the court and just try to be a positive person and show that it's bigger than basketball too. And if I have a voice off the court, a big voice, and like I have a chance to like take a part in stuff, of course be there, and of course like as much as I can. And on the court, I want to be remembered as like an energetic guy, positive guy who just gives it, like leaves it all out there, and just every day, every time he steps on the court, like you can see that he really wants to win.
Absolutely, man. Well, my final question for you. Give Baylor fans your three biggest goals that you have set for your Baylor career.
Win a national championship. That's one. Two. Win another national championship. and it's the three national championship. That's what I want. And that's what I'm going for, and that's what we're going for as a team.
Absolutely, man. Well, Miro, congratulations on the commitment. I'm excited to see what God got next for you, man. Enjoy the next year and a half out there where you get ready for there, and appreciate taking time to come on today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. You're all welcome on. God bless.
God bless.